Hi, I'm just Sandy. Welcome or welcome back. The time has come. We are going to read A Court of Thorns and Roses. I've seen this book all over the internet, this whole series all over the internet, and the general consensus seems to be that people love it. And I don't know, I feel like everyone I know who's read this book and loves it is like a diehard fan of this book and series. So I bought the entire series. Did I even look up what the book was about? No. I have no idea what this is about at all. I mean, I can gather that it's about fairies and it's a fantasy series, and I know that there's like some romance aspect to it. I'm assuming a human and fairy romance because that's what would make the most sense, but I actually have no idea. Also, please let me know in the comments if I'm confused because I don't know what the difference between a fairy and a fae is. Like, I used to think that fae was the plural of a fairy, but now I'm like, wait, fairies is the plural of fairy. Anyway, I'm gonna put this down. So yeah, obviously I'm gonna start off with book one, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Don't know what to expect. Don't even know what it's about, but I'm really excited. And what else do I have to say about this? This is gonna be spoilery. I feel like so many people have read this book that like for me to like try and horribly fail at not giving spoilers, it's not even worth it. I don't know. I'm just gonna read the book and talk through my reactions and feelings as I'm reading it, and hopefully that will result in something that you guys want to watch and talk about. Hopefully people want to talk about this because I am here for book friends, my guys. So yeah, I'm gonna get started. This freaking book, I just want to say I understand the hype. I understand. I am about 100 pages in, and I haven't updated because I stayed up for a bit last night to kind of read some of this, and I understand the hype. Normally, I really hate when authors do that thing where they leave every single chapter on a cliffhanger. And I don't feel like she does that in every chapter, but she does do it in most, where like something big or crazy is about to happen. Like the bog just showed up and she ends the chapter and you're like, what the flip? Luckily the book is not over, but like this is intense. So yeah, I am on page 94 of the book, and honestly, I think I can probably finish this today, like in one day. It's a pretty quick read, which I wasn't expecting. I feel like I'm not usually a fantasy girly, so that really surprised me. You know, like usually I feel like with all the world building, it's pretty slow in the beginning, and then once you like get into the action, like the book is almost over, and I usually hate that, which is why I'm not normally inclined to read fantasy. But I feel like Sarah J Maas, she does a really good job of introducing like the world of the fairies and their powers. Like, for example, Tamlin's powers. Um, like she doesn't just like right away tell you like all of his powers and what they are. You kind of find out through what's his face? Lucian? You find out through Lucian what Tamlin's powers are. And that helps you to kind of understand him a little bit more. And I like that she doesn't like tell you the names of the characters right away. Like you find out as Feyre finds out. So I am very excited and I'm gonna keep reading. I just truly need to know if Tamlin is gonna be the love interest. I feel like, first of all the humans have normal names. Like, well, maybe not Nesta, that's a little weird, but like Elaine, Thomas, Isaac, like they all have regular names. And then Feyre's name is like different, and all the fairies have like different names. So the theory that I'm conjuring up here is that she is more than meets the eye. Am I bugging out here? Like, am I just making that up in my head? But I feel like now that they're talking about like the sickness that's like running through, okay, this is the only word in this book that I can't say. Pyrthian? Let me look at it. Prythian. We're just gonna pretend. The sickness that's going around in Prythian, like the one that has their mask stuck to their head, I'm wondering if she's gonna help them cure that. But then the bog showed up, so now I'm like, one, is the bog causing this, and two, is she gonna stop the bogs instead, even though Tamlin's the only one that can kill them. But I just like, I don't know, I feel like she has some kind of like big role that she needs to play in Prythian. But also I feel like Tamlin is probably like, girl, you cute as son. There's no way, because like he refuses to kill her, like he's making her live in her house, like it's giving Beauty and the Beast vibes. That's exactly what it feels like. Like he's like entrapping her. Oh my god, is this a Beauty and the Beast retelling? That is amazing. Unreal. Anyways, yeah, I hope that he likes her, because my guy's always trying to give her a tour, always trying to ride her across the garden, and she's not having it, and he's not liking that, and that's just what I feel right now. It's Lucian saying he's starting to like Feyre for a murdering human. I'm gonna be so embarrassed watching this later. This book. Oh. I can't believe that Lucian is helping her. I had a feeling that he was gonna like warm up to her, but I thought he was gonna warm up to her like less quickly than Tamlin. Like, especially after she helped him when he was hurt hunting the bog. These pronunciations are gonna be the death of me. But she sewed up his hand, and I'm like, okay, this is like the Beauty and the Beast-esque like vibes, and they're gonna be friends now because she helped him or fall in love, and they're not falling in love, and that's making me very upset. I guess I will say that it is kind of realistic though, because she can't read, and like her pride is like getting the best of her, and I feel like, even though I hate that and I wish she would let him teach her how to write, it is very realistic. And also it has me really invested, because I'm like, what the French toast is gonna happen here? But I'm very invested in this. There's no indication that it's a love story. I mean, other than like the fact that he's always willing to offer her things, she has shown no interest in him at all, and actually she is terrified. So I don't know why I think it's a love story, but I just feel like that's a love story. It should be. That's just my thought. So much has happened. First of all, Feyre is finally showing Tamlin some interest, and the minute that happened, I was like, I'm over it. I'm ready for some drama. Like, what's gonna happen and mess this up? Because I don't know. I guess you I don't know. So I took this book on the train with me, like in New York City subway system, for 2 hours, and my friend was like telling me, do you ever like read the books and like make a mind movie in your head and like picture it? And I'm like, you know, I picture a few things here and there, but for the most part, like, I'm just, whatever happens in my brain happens. And she's like, you should really try to like visualize the book. Like, that sounds like a book with a lot of like good visuals. So I did. And why, as I'm sitting in the subway station imagining everything, does the book suddenly turn into like a spicy scene? The way that my face turned bright red, like, I was so embarrassed when I'm like, wait, what is happening here? And I'm like picturing it in my head. It felt like I was watching, you know what, on the train. I was so embarrassed, literally embarrassed. Also, I could not stop laughing because he literally roared at her. Roared. I wish I could think that that was like hot or sexy, but like, what? Anyways, yeah, for some reason, I don't know why, I thought that Rhys and Feyre were like the love interests in these books. And I don't know where I got that idea from. I feel like I always watch people talk about these books on the internet, but never understood what was happening because I hadn't read the books. So I don't know. I don't think I'd ever heard the name Tamlin before. And I have heard Rhys, and he's just now more than halfway through the book coming up for the first time. And I've also heard the name Cassian, and he has not come up at all in the book. So I'm interested to find out what is going on with these characters. But yeah, I was expecting Rhys to be the love interest, and I'm really surprised that he's like so dark and mean. Well, maybe he's someone else's love interest. But yeah, so I'm at the point in the book where I have like maybe 150 pages left, and she is going back home to be safe. And I feel like if this wasn't a giant series, like, this would be where the book ends. But given that I have 150 pages left, I'm happy because that tells me that something is coming back for Feyre, and it's about to go down. So it's about to get juicy. I'm really excited. I honestly haven't, how many times in this video am I going to say that I understand the hype? Like, I understand the hype. This book has me squealing. Yeah, I understand the hype. I'm really surprised. I never thought, like, I'm not really a fantasy girly, and I think I already said that, but I'm really surprised. I like this book, and I'm really invested, and gonna be great. I messed up really bad. Like, really, really bad. I don't know what's wrong with me. Probably a lack of impulse control. I literally have not read anything else, and I messed up so bad. I messed up. I don't know what possessed me, but I went on Google and I Googled Feyre love interest, and now I know things and I can't unknow them, and I hate this. What a time. I guess this one's gonna be about the journey and not the destination, right? Like, also, I think some of these things that I know now happen in like future books, so I'm hoping that maybe I'll forget. Yeah, I'm not gonna forget, but I'm so mad at myself. This is why did I do that? Sitting in my lobby waiting for, is that food on my face? Let's try that again. I am sitting in my lobby waiting to be picked up by my cousin to go out to eat, and I am currently reading. This book took a dark turn. Like, we got under the mountain and it was crazy. Oh my gosh. There's someone lurking in the shadows. False alarm, it was just someone smoking a cigarette outside, but we've made it under the mountain, and we met Amarantha. Still can't pronounce any of these names, but she is wild, and this book was like cute and romantic and like a little mysterious, and now it's like dark AF. Like, I'm scared. I guess it really has everything. I'm on page 344 and I have like 76 pages left in the book or something like that. I made that math up in my head. But speaking of math, the math is just not mathing. Like, things are not making a whole lot of sense right now. I feel like the book took like a turn for the worse. Like, I was enjoying it so much, and now I'm like, nah, these things are not really making any sense to me. Like, I guess I am invested in her like finishing the trials that are given to her by Amarantha, but I just like don't really care about the trials themselves. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact that I know she's already gonna get out of it, so whatever. But I just, so like, they have her doing these house chores and things like that, and like, number one thing is how convenient it is for her that even though she's coming back and she's all injured and stuff like that, that people keep coming back to help her. First it was Lucien, no explanation of how he even got there to help her. And then the second time it's Reese, and like, he doesn't have any clear motive for helping her at all, but has apparently been helping her from the beginning. And that's kind of like what happened with Tamlin as well, where he like had no reason to want to help her from the beginning, but he was helping her from the beginning. And I'm like, noticing a trend here. It doesn't really make sense. And then they have her doing all these house chores, and it's like, okay, first Reese helps her. Then Lucien's mom comes out the woodworks and basically is like, I owe you for saving Lucien's life, which they don't even talk to him. I don't know. Like, it was just very weird. She's just like appears, helps her do the chores, and then leaves. Like, that scene could have been left out of the book. It was unnecessary. And then Reese is just like she keeps bringing it up to him, like, you're not supposed to have powers. How do you have all these powers? And he's like, oh, these are the remnants. I'm like, no, you're pretty powerful. Yeah. And then the fact that he can like get like just tell the guards like no more chores for her, like that's it, like if he's ruling. And I guess I understand because he's like her side piece, so he has some leg up under the mountain, but I don't know, this part of the book is just not sitting well with me. Such a shame, because this was on its way to being 5 stars, and now I'm like, definitely not 5. Who knows? Maybe we can pull it together with the ending. I'm very, very close. We'll see. I finished. I have to acknowledge, though, before I start talking about the book, that this is the first time that I look even remotely presentable or human in this entire video, probably. And that is because I've been reading in the middle of the night and trying to update as I'm reading. So it is what it is. You get what you get. You don't get upset. I'm dead. That's me trying to convince myself that it's okay that I looked crazy this entire time. And I still probably look crazy, but anyways, back to the book. I have finished. I love this book so much. I keep saying this. There must be a tally of how many times in this video I said I understand the hype. I feel like I was expecting coming into this book for it to be like a very complicated fantasy series. And a lot of people talk about how chunky these books are, so I was thinking to expect lots of world building and complicated magic systems and things like that. And while there is a lot of world building to be done, and I don't understand the magic system too much, I feel like this is the first book where how to explain, Sarah J. Maas does a really good job of kind of pushing the plot forward fairly quickly while also building the world. She does a really good job of interweaving the two, and it doesn't feel forced that she's like putting in facts about the world into the story. That's all I have to say about that. I gave this book a 4-star rating, or my preference on my Instagram is yellow hearts because that's my jam. I gave this book 4 yellow hearts. I feel like this was nearly perfect. 4 out of 5. Most of the book where Feyre is like taken from her home and taken into Prythian, and her time with Tamlin, I really, really enjoyed. That's where I was talking about the plot, building the world. I feel like that whole Beauty and the Beast vibe, I was really feeling that. I was very excited to like kind of like understand what was coming and knowing the dynamic between them. I was excited to find out about the romance and everything. And then once we got to the part where they're kind of confronting Amarantha, who's like the big villain in this book, and they get under the mountain, that's when the book kind of lost me. The concept of it all was great. Like, I'm like, okay, this like big underworld, like evil villain lady sucks. Hate her. But I don't know, some people like may not agree with this, but I just felt like there were certain things that just felt like they were like rushed in there. For example, I feel like it moved very quickly through like the chores that she was giving her. And I guess what Sarah J. Maas was trying to tell us is like that Feyre was gaining the favor of the other fairies throughout the time there. That's why she does the mopping and Lucien's mom comes to help her. That's why what's his face, Rhysand, also comes to help her, and then he charms the guards so that she doesn't have to do chores anymore. Like, I get what she's trying to tell us, but at the end of the day, it just felt so like quick. It almost just felt unnecessary. Like, I feel like she could have gained that through the trials. And whereas the first trial was super like long and detailed, the second and the third felt like they were just rushed through in comparison. I don't know, the trials, they were just not giving it for me. The only thing about the Under the Mountain part that I really liked, or I guess was invested in, I don't want to say I liked it, but was her like blossoming relationship with Rhysand. Because in my head, I was thinking, this is gonna be some crazy love triangle, I'm here for it. And that didn't really happen. I mean, there's still hope, right? Because he has her for 1 week per month when she frees herself, which she's obviously going to do, or I guess I already know she did that, but it was obvious that she was going to free herself. The point is, there's hope that maybe there will be a love triangle between Rhysand, Feyre, and Tamlin, which I was hoping will happen in this book, but it didn't, so now I'm hoping it will happen in the next one. That's just me. Who knows? I will say that this book was a very quick read. I think I was reading like 100 pages a day, even with a full-time job, and like I would start reading in the evenings. And I'm looking forward to reading A Court of Mist and Fury next. So I would like to know from y'all, first of all, if you made it this far, leave a rose emoji in the comments down below. And also let me know if I should vlog my experience reading A Court of Mist and Fury. Maybe I'll do the whole series, but let me know what you guys think. And also, what are your thoughts on this book? Because I would love to discuss. I've had a lot of discussions about this book. See you guys next time. Bye!